Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's the RC Genius, and today I have got an unfortunate video. You can see I have basically destroyed my Traxxas Monster Jam Gravedigger, or Monster Energy, sorry. Basically what happened is the video that I put up, the previous video as of this time, how far can can a Traxxas monster truck jump? In that video, you know, everything went well. Go ahead and watch it. Check it out in the corner up there. But after I finished filming that video, I had to finish draining the battery, so I just kept driving on the track. And driving on that track for a total of 2 years now. I've had that track for 2 years. And once you drive in a designated area with an RC car, the ground's gonna, you know, get kicked around, the dirt's gonna fly everywhere, and basically I uncovered an old little tree stump that I didn't notice. And basically, long story short, I ramped this truck, I jumped, and on the landing I clipped that tree stump with the skid plate on the back. And you can't really tell from the way it's angled right now, the truck. However, I shattered the skid plate, and a couple other things happened. You can see that the shock here has been detached from the A-arm. That's because the screw blew out there. And also in here, let's see if I can show you guys, there's a screw missing right there as well that got blown out. So this truck is a mess. I did just clean it. I hosed it off because it was really dusty and dirty after driving on the track. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix it today. I have got a replacement skid plate. Unfortunately, it's black. However, this happened with my Gravedigger truck, and both skid plates were green, but the rear one is black. Doesn't really make much difference. It's on the bottom side of the truck, and on this vehicle it will certainly be fine because I've got the RPM A-arms. And one thing I'd like to mention is I'm very impressed that the RPM A-arms and my Proline aluminum shocks stood up against this really bad crash and destruction here. Basically, I'm really happy that these things survived because I bought these two products, this shock and this type of A-arm. I bought them specifically so that way they would not break in an event like this, and they did their job. And so I just want to say that I'm very happy that I have these. I don't have aluminum skid plates like I do on my Max D and my Son of a Digger truck. Those have so many aluminum parts on there. Maybe this summer I'll upgrade them to these skid plates, the Integy skid plates and A-arms, but I think I'm going to keep the RPM ones for a while until those break, and then I'll upgrade the A-arms to Integy. But the skid plates, I think I should definitely look into getting some Integy ones. Alright, so let's start by replacing the skid plate, because that's what's going to be the biggest thing here, is replacing that skid plate. Unfortunately, I don't have green ones on hand. After this incident, I think that it's probably a good idea to keep some green ones on hand. And I was just looking at them online. They still do exist, and they're only $4 for a set of front and rear ones. So I think I should probably invest in maybe 2 sets of those, because then I can put a green one back on my Gravedigger. However, it doesn't look bad at all, and actually, when we're done fixing this, you will be able to see that it won't look really much different. So, also, something else I want to mention, I want to know if everyone's been enjoying my consistent videos. This is I think the fourth or fifth video this week. I've been uploading since Monday, and today is Friday, and I've still been doing one video each day. So give this video a like for putting out a video every day so far. Okay, you can see there, that is our center diff gear. Let's see if the camera is in focus. Clean the lens off, there we go. There's our center diff. I need to actually dry that with a paper towel, so hang on, let me get a paper towel, and I do have some electric tape to cover that back up, so hang on one second. I am back. I'm just going to clean this up, dry it up, because I'm going to put a piece of electric tape back on, because I would always recommend doing that. In fact, Traxxas does that. When the vehicles come from the factory, they put a piece of tape here, so that way you don't get any dirt and rocks inside your transmission that deep into the transmission, because you don't want that. You don't have to put tape there, but in case, you can see dirt definitely gets on this side of the skid plate. So in case dirt were to slip through, I would always recommend to put a piece of tape back on here after you've done what you've had to do with removing the skid plate. And then we're going to take this other piece off, and you can really see this is the broken skid plate. I could try to Bondic this back together and try to save it, but I believe it's my third video on this channel is testing out Bondic, which is a plastic welder, and I kind of determined it's not very good. It's not as strong as they say it is, but I don't know if maybe I could get this to Bondic back together, because there's not really that much pressure in this area of the vehicle. I don't know. I could definitely give it a shot, but I don't know. We'll try it, but I'm not going to count on it that it's going to survive. So let's just put this new skid plate in. Here we go. And just start screwing it back in. And you can see it's not really going to be much of a difference. It is black, so it's actually neutral. If it were, you know, blue or something, obviously that would look pretty ridiculous, but black works with any color, so I think that we'll be fine appearance-wise. There we go. So just gotta put the rest of these few screws in. For something like this, I would say it's probably okay to use a power drill. I'm not, because I don't usually keep my power drill charged all the time, so that's why I'm not using it. But I would imagine you probably would be okay using a power drill, but I would never use a power drill for anything on an RC car that is like an electronic screw. So like if you're screwing into a motor and you're screwing the motor screws in, I would not use electric power drill for that. Definitely not, because if you strip out the, you could either strip the screw or you could strip the motor, and you don't want to do that, because then you're going to have to replace the motor again. So I would just say don't use power drills for that kind of stuff, but for something like this where it takes so long to unscrew and screw these screws in, I would just say go ahead and use one. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, now we're going to connect this back to the chassis. It was a really big series of events that happened here. It was only one hard hit by the stump, but a series of things broke, and that's what's unfortunate. So hopefully we'll be prepared next time, and definitely am going to go outside probably just as I'm finished with this video, and I'm going to go dig up that stump so that way we don't have to deal with this again. Also noticing that one of my A-arm screws here was loose, but all good now. Okay, skid plate is back in. Actually, I need to put one more screw in the bottom of the skid plate where it attaches to the chassis. I'm going to put one more screw on this side, and then we'll be all good. There actually is a screw missing. I'm sure someone's going to notice that there was a screw missing on the skid plate back here. You can see there's a screw missing there. I'm aware of that. That went missing a while back, but there's so many other screws there holding it in. I didn't replace it, but if I had to, I definitely could. But no need to worry about that. Okay, that's secure. Let's see. Now I would say let's get the body tower screwed back in here. I think is probably a good thing to do next, and then finally get the shock back in. Let's see. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, this is... Okay, problem number one. The screw is actually still in the chassis, and that's not good. The screw, and I'm seeing that the shock screw here is loose. A screw is missing, or no, sorry, the screw head is broken off, and the actual screw with the thread is still in the chassis here. Now, is it that big of a deal? Not really, because there is still one screw in there. Oops, what was that? Oh, my electric tape just fell. It's not a big deal because I still have a screw there. I'm that kind of person that's like, if there's one screw, it's still going to work. But in the long run, we don't want it to be weak there. So I don't know if I'm going to have to maybe drill that one out. I really don't want to have to replace the chassis just over that, because I have done that before where the screw head pops off, the screw's still in there, and I have to replace the whole chassis. Thankfully, it doesn't really take that long. You just, remove a few screws, the skid plates, and you remove the servo and the bulkhead and stuff, but I really don't want to have to go through that. I actually know for a fact that that screw has been broken for quite a while, but I think it will be okay. So now we'll just get the shock back in here. I think, don't know if that screw is going to be long enough or not. Doesn't seem like it will be. Let's try and use a bigger one. Okay. Alright. There's the trap. Shock is back in. Seems to be in pretty well. Shock's good. Skid plate is all done. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. There's some tape on this ESC wires because somehow they got cut a little bit, so I had to cover those up so that way no water gets in there, but looks good. Really, just gotta get that, but it's so tight right now, it's not really going to go anywhere, but yeah. So, thank you everyone for watching. Truck is fixed now, and probably be back up and running very soon, I would imagine. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about my consistent uploading. Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching again, and I hope to see everyone back here next time on the RC Genius.